All right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me today. So a little something different that I'm going to throw at you. Instead of our normal high intensity ab, core, booty workout, we're going to go into just kind of a chill day, lower body stretch and mobility. So I know I'm throwing this at you, but just know you can always refer back to this tape, this recording, if you ever need just a stretch day. So I'm going to lead you through about 9 different stretches. Some are going to be one-sided, and then of course we'll switch to the other side. 60 seconds in the stretch position, then you'll hear the beep, and we'll have about 15 seconds to transition into a new pose or to switch to the opposite side if we're doing a one-sided stretch. So what I'd really love is for you to kind of just set the tone in your room. If you're watching this, if you can turn the lights down, if you can put some nice, soft, soothing music on, just anything to kind of help you check out and check into your body, because this is, we need to do this. And I don't think most of us do it enough. So I'm throwing this at you today to challenge you. We're going to get into some nice deep stretches, lower body mobility, and yeah. So first stretch, before I set the timer, I'll just show you what we're going to be doing. It's just a super basic hamstring stretch. So we're going to, a standing hamstring stretch. So feet hip distance, core engaged. You're just going to forward fold, reaching down wherever your hands land, just letting your head, neck, shoulders go, right? You can always add a soft bend in the knees, but if you can keep them straight, you're getting that nice deep hamstring stretch. Hands just kind of swaying, and you have a full minute. So feel free in these different stretches to move around a little bit, deepen the stretch. I'll give you a few reminders, but I'm going to try not to talk too much. I really want you to breathe into the positions and just really kind of check into how your body's feeling. Make some mental notes about what you're feeling, and maybe side versus side. You might feel something on the right side more than you feel it on the left side, and that might, give you some messages to work on different positioning and things. So, yeah, and then we can talk afterwards and see how you're feeling. So first stretch is that hamstring stretch. So feet hip distance. You'll hear the beep. Again, we'll have 60 seconds to just kind of melt into this pose and deepen the stretch, and then we'll move on to something else, to the next stretch. All right, here we go. Feet hip distance, just forward fold, reaching down to wherever your hands land, and then from there, just a little sway side to side, relaxing your head, maybe some nods, yes, no, and just breathing. Fantastic. Keep that stretch going. And rounding up nice and slow. We're going to come down onto our mat now for our frog pose. So knees are going to go out wide, feet together, and you're going to come down to your forearms. So a little different than our child's pose, but knees are still wide, toes together, forearms resting, fingers spread wide, and just core should be engaged, nice flat back. Head should be nice extension of your back in this position. Just really sitting into those hips, sitting into your heels. Keep that going. Ignore that beep. Sorry, you guys, I think I set that timer wrong. Keep breathing into that frog stretch. I'm going to set my own timer, so I'm going to be your timer from now on. So you will not hear the beep. I'm just going to let you know when to come out of that stretch. So keep going. So 15 more seconds. And coming out of that nice and slow. Bringing your knees together to that kneeling position. Okay, this is where you're going to need to have that couch or something that you can bring your leg up against. So from that standing position or kneeling position either, right leg is going to come up on that ottoman or couch or whatever you have, and then you're going to come into that kneeling lunge position. So your left foot, your left ankle should be stacked underneath your left knee, and you should feel this nice stretch on your right side. Your knee can be as close to that object or as far away as need be. So kind of play around with the distance. But I want you sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to start our timer. We're going to stay on this side for a minute, and then we'll transition to our left leg up. So just staying up tall, breathing. You should feel a nice quad stretch on that right side. Keeping your hips rotated forward, right hip especially. Keeping that right hip forward is going to deepen that stretch on your right quadricep. You rest your hands on your left leg. And if you want to deepen it even more, you can take your left hand and just kind of hang it down or reach it towards that right ankle that's propped up. All right, let's go ahead and let that go carefully. Changing positions, changing sides. So stacking. Sometimes you need to come up, set your foot up on that chair or that couch, come down into that kneeling position, making sure you're stacked. Right knee over right ankle. Again, your hips are forward. And if you want to deepen that stretch, you're going to reach your right hand back towards that left ankle. We'll be here for a minute. Just breathing in and deepening that stretch as you feel needed. Feeling that quadricep stretch on your left leg. And you might feel this in other areas as well. So depending on where your body's tight, it might not just be that left quadricep that you feel that stretch in. Again, making those mental notes, what you're feeling. 20 more seconds. All right, coming out of that position carefully. We're going to go into our pigeon stretch. So we'll go from that down dog position, hands stacked under shoulders, hips up. We're going to tuck, bring our left leg a little centered. Right leg is going to kick up and feed that leg through for a pigeon. So right leg is as parallel as you can make it to the mat. Again, this is where we're going to be checking into our flexibility and testing our stretch. And then you can stay up tall, or you can come down to forearms, whatever is comfortable for you in this position. Maybe a little rocking side to side, deepening that stretch by straightening that leg out a little bit more, or even curling your toes under on that left leg. And don't forget to breathe. All right, we're going to switch sides. So restack your hands. Curl your toes under on your left leg, then swing that right leg back to down dog. Right foot centers, left leg kicks up and feeds through for pigeon on that other side. Again, that left leg, trying to get it as parallel to the mat as possible, but knowing wherever you are right now is where you need to be. So don't overstretch it. Again, you can be on your hands, you can be resting on your forearms, keep those hips rotated, especially your right hip rotated forward. And curl those toes under on your right leg if you'd like. We'll rock side to side. All right, and from here, just roll out of this position over onto your left side. Bring your legs forward. We're gonna do a single leg hamstring stretch next. So we'll start with that right leg stretched out, left leg just tucked in, kind of in that figure four position. And then you're just gonna stretch up, reach over that right leg, reaching for your ankle, reaching for your toes, nose to knee. Just getting that single leg hamstring stretch. Foot is flexed. And again, wherever your hands are landing, knowing that's where you are, you can continue to deepen that stretch through this minute, just breathing into it. And rounding up nice and slow. Uncurling that left leg. Left leg's nice and straight, right leg comes in, that figure four position, and then again, reaching up tall, and then forward fold, nose to knee on that left side. Hands reaching for your toes, reaching for your ankle, again, noticing any differences you might feel. This side versus the other side. Maybe within each inhale and each exhale, you're able to reach a little bit farther forward. Relaxing your head, neck, shoulders. And coming out of that nice and slow, rounding up. We're gonna bring our right leg over our left leg now and just do that figure four or the cross body stretch. So right leg is over your left leg in that figure four again. You can just hug that knee in. You can reach that right hand out. And then left hand can go against that knee, just kind of getting that rotation, relaxing your head, neck, shoulders. That nice cross body stretch. Nice, deep cleansing breaths. And coming out of that nice and slow. Stretching that right leg out, bringing your left leg, crossing over. Playing around with that position. All right, and slowly coming out of that. We're gonna go back up to that kneeling lunge position. So we're gonna go, keep your right knee on the floor. Left leg is gonna come up. And again, you're gonna stay stacked, straight up and down. Left knee is over your left ankle. Right knee is under your right hip. And then from here, we're gonna tip our pelvis. So you're gonna rotate your hips up to the ceiling, even though that's really not gonna happen. You're gonna be making that motion by tipping your pelvis like there are headlights on your hip bones, rotating them up, and then you're gonna lunge forward. And I just want you to stay in that position. So you're in that lunge, not a huge lunge, just enough to feel that stretch. And where you should be feeling it is on that crease of your right hip flexor, right front side. Your hip bones are staying forward and tilting up, and you're in that lunge position. You can always come back out of it and then back in, so kind of like a little lunge forward, and then come back to neutral. All the while, I want you to have those hip bones tilted up, your pelvis tilted forward, so you're deepening that stretch on that right front hip flexor. A little bit hard to explain, especially on video, but hopefully you can feel that stretch. Stay where you are, just breathing into that. Again, I'm feeling it right here on that front side of my right hip flexor. And slowly switching sides, coming back to neutral. Bringing that left knee down, right foot comes up. Staying in that nice, tall, stacked position. Tilt your pelvis up and then lunge forward. And that's the stretch. So you should be feeling this on the front side of your left leg now. And again, you can always come back to neutral and then lunge again. Keeping your head looking straight forward, maybe closing your eyes. All right, coming out of that, we're gonna go back onto our back for that figure 4 stretch. We do this one a lot after class. So we're gonna take our right ankle over our left knee. Our left knee is gonna be on the floor, and then we're gonna bring it in, sorry, right knee, right leg. So our hands are through the middle of our knee and wrapping around the back side of our right hamstring. Left knee is just pushing against that our left elbow is pushing against that left knee. Just breathing into that figure 4 stretch on your back. Maybe letting your right ankle fall down towards the mat. Pulling that right leg in a little bit deeper, pushing against that right knee, or sorry, left knee. Maybe ankle rotations on that right foot, both directions. And then slowly we're going to switch sides. So we'll bring our right ankle over our left knee, reaching around, grabbing the back side of our left leg, pushing that right elbow against your right knee to open that right hip, and then deepening that stretch by pulling in the back side of your left leg. Letting your left foot fall to the floor, ankle rotations, both directions if that feels good. Just continuing to breathe. And nice and slow, coming out of that stretch, hug your knees into your chest. A little rock side to side. And then we'll rock up to that seated position. We're going to go into our last 2 stretches. So butterfly stretch, balls of the feet are coming together, elbows pushing against that knees, tops of your knees. And just breathing into this position here. Hands around your ankles, maybe up a little bit higher, helps to push against those knees a little bit more. Maybe a little rock side to side. Maybe bringing those knees out a little bit farther, or maybe even a little bit closer, feet in a little bit closer. And our last stretch, so come out of that nice and slow, our last stretch is going to be up in a standing position. If you have a wall or a door beside you, we're going to go into a standing calf stretch. So I'm going to come over here to my door. My right leg is going to be back. My front leg is going to be forward, just really pushing against that wall or your door So you're getting a nice deep stretch. If you have to leave the room, hopefully you don't have to leave the room to do this. Just finding a spot where you can get into a nice deep calf stretch. Staying here for another 30 seconds, and we're going to switch sides. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that left leg back, right foot forward. And again, pushing against that wall, against that door, deepening your stretch on that left calf. Keeping your hip bones facing straight forward. And just breathing. And your shoulders drop down away from your ears. One last deep cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Coming out of that position. And just a really quick forward fold back into that hamstring stretch, letting your head, neck, shoulders, everything just relax and sway side to side. Big inhale in, and on the exhale, rounding up nice and slow. Big roll of your shoulders back and forward. And thank you guys so much for that stretch time. Have an amazing day. Drink lots of water, hydrate well, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you, Doris.